Do you still have any personal experiences with this phenomenon today?
Yeah.
How so?
I witnessed it in 2019. This massive craft come over my house, and I witnessed it. I'm still thinking about that. That was in 2019, and I got a really, really good look at it. I was afraid, like, for my life at a certain point when it made a maneuver that was very, very violent in a sense. And I'd never seen anything like that big. And I wasn't the only one who saw it. There was a farmer near me. I'm sure other people saw it as well.
How big would you say?
Oh, man, it had to be 100 feet anyway,
Round? Circular?
Yeah. Yeah, but, it wasn't what you'd think, as far as, like, tapered down platform. The platforms on this thing were, like, they went out like this, like fat, right? Fat, long,
Yeah.
two stories anyway, no windows. And it had I could only see the left-hand part of this dome, right? It went up like this. I could see the other side, but I couldn't see I just saw the curve, which was absolutely beautiful. That curve was, yeah, I think about that all the time now.
Did it have a sound?
No, that's what was the most disturbing part about it. Was
no sound.
There was nothing. So in aviation, right, or in flying aviation, it's called air displacement. So like when a balloon's going through the air or anything with mass, the more mass you have. No, I'm okay. Thanks. The more mass you have volume, the more air you can hear the air being displaced. This thing was huge and it had no air displacement. There was not a sound.
Nighttime?
10:22 at night, p.m. And I was outside on the roof of my garage. Yeah. And
any direct contact with beings though?
No.
Nothing.
No. This thing, it was almost like, it was interesting because I had just finished the rough cut of the movie.
It's like
2 weeks before.
Do you think that maybe like what they do to you when they abduct you, when they, like what Gary's talking about with affecting the brain, a part of the brain by making neurons more dense, do you think they're doing something to the brains of these people, yourself included, to where it opens up a perception? It opens up a gateway in the mind to where you can perceive this stuff now.
Yeah, but
that normal people maybe can't see.
Yeah, but there was a farmer who also saw it.
Oh, really?
It was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there were other witnesses to it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a big deal. I went to the police. I went to 3 police stations, two local police stations and the state police. Then I got pardon my English. I got in my plane.
Your plane?
Yeah, I flew down to Westover Air Force Base to talk to the intelligence officer there. And he was supposed to be there. He didn't show up. And then I talked to him on the phone later. I'm like, hey, you guys got a serious security issue here because I'm 20 miles north of you. And you should know what this is, like what this is. And he's like, you mean the drone? I'm like, oh, man, yeah, this is no drone, bro. Like, this thing is 10 miles ahead of anything we have. I mean, it was just stunning. I mean, it was oddly when I saw it, and you go through the list of things like, okay, is this a drone? Is this a Chinese lantern? Is this an aircraft? Right? You go through the whole list. I do. Yeah. I'm very I'm not easily deceived because I grew up with a mechanical background, aviation background. Like you don't jump to conclusions. And then when this thing got closer, I'm like, oh my God! And it was also absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And there was something peaceful about it, actually, in the experience. And then,
what color was it?
Orange, like a deep sunset orange. Yeah.
Glowing or no?
Well, yeah. It looked like a plasma, right? It looked like a plasma. And then when it crossed in front of the tree in front of me,
the whole surface.
No.
Of it. Okay.
No, it was like a light, And then as it approached me, it crossed in front of the tree in front of me that was 45 feet away. The tree was. And it crossed behind this tree. So you can actually do the math. considering where I did all the stuff already. You can do the math from the position it was viewed from. And then part of the tree blocked out the orange light, and then I could see the rest of it, which is like when you see a light going floating around, and then it gets blocked out, and you see this massive thing that is not making any sound whatsoever, and it's the craft itself. It had rings, right? Like there was a metallic ring. That's the first thing that caught my eye, running through the center of it, all around the circumference. I could only see that, and it had like a heat. When you heat a metal, there's a rainbow effect, like a purplish, like sort of rainbow effect that happens. It's kind of like tinsel.
Yeah.
This sort of flashiness, that's what caught my eye initially after the light got blocked. And then I saw, so it was like a very metallic, not silver, it was a darker kind of gray color.
Was it glowing like Chris Bledsoe describes the orbs, like the entire thing glows, or is it like an engine source?
Oh,
or?
no. It's like it looks like an orb, right? Or whatever people refer to it as an orb. So that orange light, which looks like a ball of orange with like a red tinge to it, and it looks like plasma. It's like a light that doesn't. It's very strange. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I don't think I blinked for 45 seconds because I was not going to take my eyes off that thing. And I started to go through the routine of what is this, try to identify it. And then when it got blocked by the tree, and then I saw the rest of it, which is enormous. I started to get scared, of course. But the rest of it was lit by like a white light, that there was no source, and so you had this ring in the middle that had that rainbow effect on it. There was a black ring above it and below it, and then below was silver and above was silver, and then the dome was also silver on top. There was no windows. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen technologically.
Any kind of crazy movements it made?
Yeah, dude, this is what is really kind of stunning to me, just because I have an engineering background and I build things, and I love flying. I don't know. I'm an engineer at heart, and dude, this thing wobbled.
Wobbled?
Yeah, it was not stable.
Like how? Like use this Zin can and show me how it wobbled.
Like this, kind of like it was slight,
just slowly side to side.
Huh?
Like an off-balance gyroscope.
I guess so, but it was slower than that. That was, I just couldn't even make sense of that myself. For such a technological object like that to wobble, actually. I think about it. Obviously, don't. If I built it, it would not wobble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to make sure it looked really sleek.
Right.
They don't seem to care about that.
Interesting.
So when it broke out of the trees, I knew I was going to get another clear look at it again, and that's when it did this sort of violent move, like counterclockwise, rotated very quickly. That's when I got really, I put my hands down on the ground.
This is it.
And yeah. And then I was looking at another sort of perspective of it, where there was a platform on the back that it sort of hung underneath it, and there was a white thing under it that looked like a tank, propane tank or something. And it made me think, because I didn't know about the Tic Tac at this point.
Like a propane tank.
Yeah, like a white tank with no seams on it. It looked, the first way I described it was like a casket, and then underneath that was another platform that was just hanging there, like there was no attachment to the object. And on that platform, there was like when I first saw it, it's like a white box, curved edges, it looked super advanced, and it had a little pole on it with a red light. And in my mind, I'm like, that's a power supply, because I worked as an electrician for a long time in commercial.
Interesting.
But it wasn't anything that I've seen us make at all. And then that orange light, which was not on me anymore, had gone around the ring of it and got toward the back of it, very close to where it was, as it was right here. And then it got big and just went.
Whoa.
Dude, I stood up there for 20 minutes just with my jaw dropped. I felt like a Neanderthal, man. Like, honest to God, they are so far ahead of us. Yeah.
And it was you and another farmer who saw this.
Oh, I'm sure a bunch of people saw it. The farmer.
How far away? Yeah, how far away was he?
He was probably 2 miles away. I was probably a couple hundred yards when I first, probably 300 or 400 yards when I first saw it. And then the kind of, I'm living here, I'm on the roof of the garage, and it's coming this way. And then, so it's approaching me the whole time. And when it departed, it was about right here. So when it departed, I'd say 150. Here's the weird thing. That thing, there was no sound even in that. I saw it go. It disappeared into the stars. And I have no idea the speed, but I would imagine within a second it was over Boston, which is the direction where it went. I'm not kidding.
That's crazy, man.
But there was no magnetic field. There was no, I didn't feel any impact. There was no pressure wave of nothing. Like, I don't quite understand the physics involved in what I witnessed. And that there was zero sound through the whole thing. And it wasn't some kind of projection or what do you call it?
No hologram.
It's not a hologram because so the farmer, he was about two or 3 miles away from me, and he saw it from his angle, and I know where he was, and so I went to talk to him. He got all nervous and said, "I don't want to talk about it."
Really?
That's what happens because it's not open, and people are nervous about what are their neighbors going to think. They're afraid of what the government may do. Shut them down. It's not a great atmosphere for openness.
Do you think?
But that's the last time I saw.
Do you suspect you're going to get any sort of backlash from talking about these experiences on the podcast?
Oh, definitely.